You are listening to NonPlayer Chaos. On this episode, an unexpected turn.
Now listen here, you morons. This little kid means nothing to us.
I shank him.
Oh.
That was so fast. I was gonna go somewhere with that, but too late.
Are you going for the kill?
No. Just on like the arm. Just like a little shank.
A provocative legal question.
I have a quick question. What's the crime for killing a criminal?
High-stakes negotiations.
Listen, punks. This kid's gonna get it if you don't back off. Let us get our stuff and get the hell out of here. You don't want this kid's blood on your hands. And this guy over here is wearing a weird hat.
The Kool-Aid Man.
All right. We got two options. One of you two run through the wall like Kool-Aid Man, or we're all concussed again.
And finger-licking good.
Nobody shake my hand for a little while. We'll be all right. No licking your fingers either.
Welcome to NonPlayer Chaos, an actual play podcast where the streets of Duskville aren't just shaped by our scoundrels, but by you, our listeners. If you're new to Blades in the Dark, here's what you need to know. This is a game about daring criminals in a haunted industrial city, pulling off heists, forging alliances, and outwitting rival factions, all while trying to stay one step ahead of the Blue Coats, the supernatural, and their own pasts. Unlike many TTRPGs, this one isn't about dungeon crawling or noble quests. It's about ambition, risk, and the cost of power. Our crew will lie, cheat, steal, and maybe even change the fate of Duskvold itself. But here's where our podcast is different. You are part of this world. Between episodes, our listeners will have the chance to influence the game. You'll vote on choices, stir up trouble, and maybe even play a role in shaping the city's future. Did the crew's last heist draw too much heat? Did a rival gang just make their move? That's up to you. And that's not all. Our listeners have their own faction inside the game. On our Discord, you'll be part of a crew navigating the underworld alongside our main cast, forging alliances, making enemies, and changing the city in ways that the players will feel at the table. We're blending storytelling, gameplay, and audience-driven chaos to create a living world. So join our Discord and Reddit by checking the links in the show notes.
So I've always had an issue, like I did last week, with how do you open an episode. I went back to my life motto where the problem is the solution. And the problem is if I can't do it, the solutions don't do it. I'll take Ari's advice and just start talking, and we'll get into it.
We can play Friday by Rebecca Black.
What I want to know, Jesse, what is your life's motto?
My real life's motto?
Well, let's do your real life motto right now.
Where do you live? What's your credit card?
Okay, he doesn't have one.
I was going to say, I don't have a life's motto. No, I don't have a life's motto.
No, really, honestly, the problem is the solution was something I heard years ago, and just over the past few years, it has served me. Like, anytime I have a problem, I think about how make that work for you.
That's a good point.
It's because sometimes you can't, if you fight against it, it's not going to work.
It gets into the whole idea that if you want to go through life, there's people that go through life just saying, well, this is wrong, but they don't actually find the solution for what is wrong. When there should be, once you say, this is bothering me, you should then formulate a solution.
Yeah.
So that is the problem is the solution.
Yeah.
So you can't just look at the problem and then find a solution for the problem.
Absolutely.
I just kind of wing it, man.
You wing it? Yeah.
I don't have a motto.
That is my motto.
You know, if it works, it works.
I do have a motto. It's good, fast, cheap, pick two.
That's kind of the software engineer's motto, generally.
I think mechanics as well.
That's from
Generally, though, you put that forward and the immediate response is all three.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
cheap and fast it is.
You're like, what you want is a pile of garbage that doesn't meet any of those criteria.
That's a good get.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to say the audio is good enough and fix it in post.
Good enough and fix it in post.
There's your life motto.
Bumble through it and
Fix it
then
in
solve
post.
it later.
Yeah.
I asked ChatGPT, and the first one ChatGPT came up with progress over perfection. So that's kind of in line with that, right?
That's how it gets
you.
Yeah.
All right, so
Run the world.
you know who's got a problem in need of a solution?
Many people.
Your 4 characters.
Oh.
Yeah. How's that for a segue?
Nice.
So we will start off high above Duskval, the inky blackness. We're high above the city, seeing the lights of the city, surrounded by the lightning barriers, crackling at all times to keep out the spirits. Set on the edge of the void sea, its inky blackness, unlike any regular water that you're used to, with its stars beneath the sea that mirror the stars above, where the great Leviathan lives. You also see a rather new addition in the sky above the city. There's a huge Zeppelin. It's a military Zeppelin, one of the Immortal Emperor's new military vehicles that has been patrolling the city, armed with these massive electroplasm guns, staying above at all times except when it docks at one of the towers in the cities. You look down, you see the separate districts, largely separated along the lines of the tributaries of the Dusk River. You see the different distinct districts. You have the coal-polluted Coal Ridge, the ritzy White Crown. As we zoom in, we start to see the run-down 6 towers, largely abandoned. We see Charter Hall, home to a lot of the government businesses, straight line streets, the Charter Hall University. As we zoom in even further, we get closer to a jail on one corner, run by the Bluecoats, and inside in a holding cell, in a room probably 10 by 10, if that, very sparse, one wall of bars, a small barred window, stone seats jutting out from the wall, not much else. We find our 4 scoundrels, along with 2 other folks, somebody that's half passed out, drunk, and someone in the corner in a tattered gray cloak with their head down, covered up, not saying much. So with that, let's go around and meet our scoundrels, especially for anyone that did not listen to character creation. Let us know about your character and why they might be in jail for, a night's lockup. This was nothing serious. They haven't even processed you yet, haven't got your names, they've kind of just stripped what was on you off, left you with your clothes. And we start with Reno. Tell us about Reno.
So Reno is an old man. It's kind of indeterminate how old he is. He could be between the ages of 50 and 100. He has long, white, wispy hair, except for the top of his head, where he's basically bald and shiny. He has a long, scraggly beard that he adorns with leaves and rat bones. Oh, look! He basically does not have any teeth at all. That's why he likes soup so much. And he's usually dressed in a doctor's smock. He found it in an alley and has decided that that is his favorite thing to wear. And sometimes he likes to pretend that he was a doctor, but really he's just a unrepentant gambler. I wanted to add a note. I do know what his favorite place to gamble.
Yes.
There's a soup shop that also functions as a gambling den, and that's where he's going to go
cool.
because he loves soup, and he's going to go there to do his gambling.
Is the gambling in the back room, or do they do it in the open?
I haven't decided what the main item of attraction is. I'm going to brainstorm that one.
Great. And why do they find themselves in jail?
Reno, he picked a fight with somebody. That's 9 times out of 10. He's I want to say, likes to fight old man, but that's what he kind of is. He's always fighting people, especially when it comes to his gambling debts.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if anything else.
What about what we see as the camera pans to Gorgle?
All right. Well, Gorgle is kind of nondescript under ordinary circumstances. His actual name is Eddie Waymer. He is a stranger who fell through a rift that opened up spontaneously in an alleyway as he was running away from a thug who was trying to collect on a debt in New York City.
And as he ran into the alleyway, he saw a coruscating shower of light and blue particles, and all of a sudden he found himself in a back alley in a place he'd never seen, never been before, Duskville. And he ended up wandering around his first week in Duskville. He was getting strange looks for his odd clothing, but he saw a cutter named Gorgle, his first week in town, get knifed behind a gambling den. And this cutter had reminded him of somebody from his old world, Clint Eastwood.
Nice.
And he's a failed actor, failed Broadway actor, hustler, multi-level marketing salesman, general fraudster. And he saw Gorgle's rapidly cooling body on the pavement and thought, this is the chance for a role of a lifetime.
Yes.
And he stole Gorgle's name, his clothing, and his sawed-off shotgun that he had secured underneath his duster. So
Excellent.
he has grown a little bit of a scraggly beard, and he's dressed very much like Clint Eastwood out of a spaghetti western.
Okay.
He does not have Clint Eastwood's capabilities, though.
Okay.
He's underneath that still the same hustler and fraudster and failed actor that he always was.
I'm sure we will see that come into play
Yeah.
in hilarious fashion. And what did Gorgle do to end up in lockup?
He spent the last of his money gambling and drinking, but gambling's his real love.
Yep.
And as the last of his money disappeared in a hound race, he made a little bit of a scene.
Okay.
And in his drunkenness, he was going around grabbing people, making a scene that he'd been cheated, and the Bluecoats eventually were called in, picked him up.
Excellent. Okay. So the camera pans over to Marzo.
So I think Marzo is being dragged in only wearing a black undercoat vest and a pair of boxer shorts. And the guard has his vest bunched up, just dragging him without any real effort. So sits with his arms crossed, legs heaped out in front of him, a furrow being dragged in the dirt. I'm just shaking my head. I'm just angry at life. This is not where I expected to be today.
Mistreated.
Yeah, I did nothing wrong. 1 minute, I'm entertaining the masses in the streets. The next, here I am, locked up for doing nothing.
Okay.
No.
Nothing.
Put
It's
upon.
the impropriety
Yep, the
of this
impropriety, put
entire
upon.
situation. So I think I'm going to get roughly thrown into a jail cell, guard not paying me any attention, and he's got a sack of my property. And he's just,
Oh, yep. Takes it. He takes that sack along with what he has done with everyone else. They quickly stripped you of obvious items and put them in, I guess, their evidence room or whatever, just in a separate room.
I mean, I just got dragged through the streets by a blue cloak and just not happy to be here, but I'm kind of taking it all in and I'm coming to terms with it. And I realize this is not necessarily the audience that I would want.
Yep. But it's the audience
any
you
audience
have.
or
And
not?
a little background on Marzo for anyone that has not listened to the character creation.
So other than covered in dirt, he's gonna have scars all over his arms.
Okay. Yeah.
He's gonna, like his shoulders, he's not very muscular, but like spry. He's thin, but kind of sinewy, but you can tell like he's agile. Sunburnt shoulders.
Nice. And he was raised in the Dagger Isles.
Dagger Isles.
Yep.
So came up kind of orphaned, and jumped onto the ships early, take part in the trade between islands, between continents, and early on he gets introduced to the concept of circuses. So he attended his first circus. That kind of set his life path. He realized that he didn't want to just be a side player.
Yep.
He wanted to run the show.
He is an entertainer at heart.
So
And a controlling entertainer at heart. Yes. Okay. Great. And finally, Halliday.
Yep.
What do we see as the camera pans to Halliday?
Just a young 20-year-old, homeless, so raggedy clothes. Got thrown in here for just stealing some food.
Stealing some food, just trying to feed yourself.
Gotta do what you gotta do to survive.
Yep.
And Tallied is homeless, obviously, but the survivor, or the only survivor of their family, and they grew up in very poor parts of the city.
No problem. We
Like
can,
that.
you know.
Tallied, homeless, raggedy clothes, doesn't use many words, I guess. But they at one point had siblings. Not so many anymore, though some would say that Halliday's siblings are still with them. They were thrown in jail for stealing some food, which normally they get away with, but this time they were not so lucky. Halliday claims their older brother is very upset at them for getting caught, not for stealing. There's an important difference there. Nobody knows of this older brother. Nobody's seen him, but that's what Halliday says, even though Halliday was immediately thrown in jail.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so you all find yourselves settling in. You don't know how long you'll be here. I don't know if this is your first rodeo with jail. A lot of times with these minor crimes, it's not a long lockup. They're not going to send you to Iron Hook prison to do hard labor if you're not causing that much trouble. This city's rife with it, so you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It's an injustice, man.
If I had
Yep.
coin, I wouldn't have to steal food.
This is prison, not jail.
Let me make sure I got it right. Jail is just where you go before prison, correct? Yes, this is jail. Did I say prison? Okay.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yes, yes.
I know people that have gone
Yep.
to prison, and they're different than people that have gone to jail.
Yes, the main and probably only real prison in Duskball is the Iron Hook prison.
That's okay.
Yeah, and if you end up there, things have gone horribly wrong. So, stick around for a couple months. I'm sure you'll be there. You know.
I'm pretty sure Reno has been there.
Does anyone want to do anything? Have any conversations or anything before?
I'm gonna be pacing my cell like a caged lion.
Horror cell?
Are we all together?
Yeah, this is like the holding cell.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I said, you're in there with 2 other people.
I'm paying specific attention to the guards, where they are. They're paying attention to us.
Okay.
I'm assuming they're kind of walking to the front of the jail where all of our property is being held.
Yeah, that's where the majority of the guards are. There is this one, I mean, he looks too young to be a guard, and he seems really nervous. He's walking up and down the hall where this holding cell is, and he's just constantly tapping his nightstick on the walls and on the bars and muttering to himself.
Reno's gonna go up to the bars and start harassing the guards. So, as he knows them all, he's just gonna wander up to the bars and like lean against them. And I was like, "Hey, is Eddie there? Do you guys know Eddie? I knew Eddie from back in the day." So he's just gonna keep on rattling off names until somebody responds.
One, I mean, most of the ones that are up in the front, I guess there's maybe some desks at the entranceway. Maybe there's 4 or 5 guards up there, some of them doing desk work. And then there's, just mainly that one. He's kind of looks at you, but he doesn't even really respond. He's, no Eddie, there's no Eddie. Just be quiet. And
Why should I be quiet? I got all these people to talk to. How are you guys all doing?
Hey, Reno, buddy.
Huh?
Ain't seen you for a while.
You're Eddie. Are you?
I am Eddie.
You are Eddie?
I'm Gorgol.
You're Gold. Oh, okay.
But I'm also Eddie.
Okay. You're also Eddie. I think I remember you. Yeah, that's why I thought that's where I thought Eddie was from. Okay. I was getting confused. I'm old. So I don't know if you know that.
Hey, Reno, man, I was down at Greer's and they cheated me on that last race. My dog was lamed, man. The dog I bet on, it was fixed.
Was it one of the ones that they've been eating?
Eaten?
The dogs?
They've been eating dogs.
I mean, they probably have. There's a lot of poor people in that entire part of town. Whereas I might think of the
It
wrong
wasn't
place. It was lamed.
Yes, but look, I'm kind of light right now. When we get out of here, what do you say you and me go back down to Greer's, and maybe you spot me for a little taste at the track?
I'll bet you a gold coin that they probably wouldn't let you to do that. Because you're probably still going to be in trouble. But I'll give you a gold coin if they will.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's start.
Let's do it. I'll take the chance.
Okay. So we have one
I
bet.
just need a little bit of a taste.
So I'm not giving you a gold coin. You're going to give me a gold coin if they'll let you gamble.
Sure,
Okay.
of course.
All right.
You know I'm good for
And
it.
if they won't let you gamble,
Then I'll give you a gold coin. All right, that sounds good to me. Excellent. Who's the rest of these people?
I'm just
Yeah, buddy, you look like
I'm
you've been...
just here for the show, and I'm about to put a show on for you.
Yeah.
I love a good show.
Well, a good ringmaster never goes anywhere without a costume and props.
Guards, you guys gotta come see this.
Actually, if I could get a little bit of assistance, if you could keep the guards off to the side, perhaps I have a solution for all of us.
I have a quick question. What's the crime for killing a criminal?
The crime for killing a criminal. Murder. I think that's still a
You're a
murder.
criminal.
I don't think they want indiscriminate killing, my friend.
It's not indiscriminate. It's criminals.
Killing nonetheless.
But it's
It's still
discriminate.
murder.
Weird question. I'm gonna bet a gold coin to you that he's gonna get in more trouble than us one day.
I have a longer life to live.
Good bet.
How are you going to collect that bet?
It doesn't matter about collecting the bet. It just matters about betting the bet.
No, but you got to get money somehow.
Yeah.
But how are you going to collect it?
Maybe I won't collect on that bet, but I'll collect on other ones.
So your bets are useless.
But nobody's collecting any bets until we get out of here. And like I asked, if somebody can go ahead and get the guards down to the other side of the building, maybe I can, with a little flourish, I'll do a little magic and maybe get us out.
My friends. You look over the one person in the corner that was wearing the heavy cloak. He looks up at you all as you're talking. He's really gaunt and wiry, cracked lips, sunken eyes. Doesn't look like he's in great health. That heavy cloak and rather unusual shoes, something like most of you have probably never seen before. It sounds like you're planning to get out of here?
I mean, they're not going to keep us here forever.
Quick advice, though. You really need to be exfoliating.
If that is my biggest problem, then things are okay. I have a proposal. You guys have to help me get out of here, and quickly. And as he talks, all of you start to feel this pressure in your brains. Nothing painful. It's almost undescribable, just like this uncomfortableness. And then when he quits talking, it goes away.
What's the crime for killing a weirdo?
I don't know, but my urge to get out of here just increased about 10.
I love how this has turned out already. It sounds like we're about to go into a score. So you've got some ideas on how you're going to get out of this. And again, this is not the way Blades normally works, but this is our 0.5 episode, so we wanted to run this mini score that gets the crew together. So normally to start, you have like the plan and the detail. I didn't know if we were going to be able to do that, but it sounds like we might actually be able to do that. What your plan was with them if you want to, and then we can get into the actual planning, and I guess we might actually have an engagement role and just kick this off.
So if everybody is on board with this idea of mine to distract the guards, maybe stay away from the creepy guy in the corner, but apparently we need to help him get out or else we might get some more migraines. Oh, no,
What do you mean by distract? You want me to bring him
just-
over to the corner of the cell, or
whatever
just
you
keep
can
him
do.
away?
Get them out of here, because it just so happens Lox and I are very close friends. And I think I have an answer to our problem.
I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
I run up to the bars and I reach my hand out desperately, my face contorted in pain. And I say,
Oh God, my gut, something's wrong. You gotta help me. Go get help, please. Please get help.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start this officially as a score.
I got it.
We have our score. You guys are getting out of this prison, or jail, as we clarified. Generally, there would be an opportunity to gather information before, and that's totally possible. Does anybody want to have gathered information for some weird reason on this?
100% I gather information all the time.
You got it. So maybe you've even been locked up here before.
Definitely.
Okay. So-
I probably get
Reno
locked up
definitely-
for petty
yeah.
crime
Yeah.
on a regular basis. Yeah.
We're definitely surveying on the way into the jail too.
Yeah,
With the
so-
inevitable.
So this will all be some gather information. So let's go ahead and see the quality of information that you get.
Yeah, I've been shifty eye watching every movement of these guards since they grabbed me.
So
A study? I'm take in my surroundings, observe what I'm seeing.
All right. And you can always, like,
One deeper dot.
let me look at the teamwork real quick, because that might be,
Is there a deep cut rule to that now?
there is a coordinate action for teamwork.
Well, in this instance, yeah, because we would basically just pool our knowledge of the prison cell. Like, I know this guard, and this guard, and this guard, and these are who's on duty right now, because they didn't answer when I was calling out to them. So, and normally they answer when I'm calling out to them because they think I'm a fun guy. So, I know that those guys
Okay.
are here today. That sort of thing. So we can kind of pull that information, whatever knowledge you have of.
That's basically how the group action, I think, would work for this scout information. So you pick one person to lead it, and the rules I'm looking at, they push themselves on behalf of the group, and each player rolls for their own outcome against a shared threat. And this, since multiple people doing it, you're going to get more information. It increases the quality.
So
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. So
we're all pushing,
Yeah.
knowing that he has the most experience here,
okay,
and then we're all rolling as well
okay.
to see the amount of information we're getting, the quality.
Group action is generally the same, either survey or study. Like, or when you just, so each person would roll their own.
Yeah.
And we'd see how everybody does, and depending on the amount of successes, that's how we'll work it.
All right.
So, what are you rolling? Ryan?
I have one
I have
survey.
2 for survey.
You want to lead it?
I'll lead it. Sure.
Sure.
But I'm
And then
pushing
everyone.
myself as well. You're saying, right? Does that mean on behalf of the group, I'm pushing myself? Is that what you're saying?
Pushing yourself works differently in
Yeah.
deep cuts.
You push yourself kind of after the fight. Okay.
So you roll, and then you can push yourself if you don't like the roll.
To either have a greater effect if you
Or reduce
succeeded,
consequences.
Or reduce consequences.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
This is not a threat. There's no consequences from this.
yeah. Okay.
So that you're facing no real threat.
So it's
Maybe
more-
we're like coming together. That one guard is kind of doing his back and forth while everybody else is paying no attention, but we're going to kind of have a quick powwow to go over what we know about this place.
What you've seen
We're
since
all rolling.
getting pulled in, maybe background knowledge.
I rolled a 6.
I got a 5 as well.
I was distracted.
You're staring at the guy in the corner.
We have a lot of experience in the jail cells. That's what we're learning right now.
Okay, so yeah, noticing. We'll talk a little bit about. Maybe you guys can talk about what you noticed as well if you want to. There is a gate surrounding this building, iron bars on the front, and then a little courtyard that leads into the jail, which has got, like I said, the open room in the front with usually around 4 blue coats. There's at least, so you didn't get too far back. It's not a huge jail, you know. You're kind of maybe 20 feet down the first hallway. You've only seen that one young blue coat. The hallway does split further down into a T, so there's a wall and then it splits either way. There was a room pretty much right by the desks. That's where they do the stuff that they took off of you, what you didn't manage to secrete on your person, on your clothes or whatever, although I don't know how Marzo's hiding much of anything. Do you think that's enough information? What else? I mean, because that was a pretty good roll, some
Can we
fives.
see? Can we see the exit from where we are? I mean, do we have a straight shot to make a dash for it?
You would, if you go out the way you came in, you would have to go past the desks,
Where everybody is?
and then you don't know if the gate is locked.
I need to at least get my hat. So
yeah.
I think
Okay.
we're gonna need to hit that room. But does anybody know any other exits?
That's what I'm wondering.
Reno?
That's what I was hoping from the survey, that we, like, maybe one of us knows of maybe a loose rock in the wall of the prison where we can just open it up and sneak right out.
From a gather information, I'll say you won't be able to get that. That would be in score. Maybe you could start trying to find that. Let's go ahead and pick out. Sounds like you guys had a plan. So there's assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, and transport. Some of these obviously don't make any sense, but it sounds like you were maybe trying to pull off the deception right away.
Like we've got a young, inexperienced looking, nervous guard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so the method of deception would be to feign illness to try and
Feign illness.
get someone to open the bars.
To try to get him to leave. And
Okay.
Go get help.
We already talked about the loadout. Next, normally with deep cuts, they've changed it to discreet. and conspicuous, which is 4 boxes and 6 boxes. However, in this unique situation, you have 2 boxes at the moment until you can access what was taken from you on your way in.
The sloppy pat down from the guard.
So we will do an engagement roll. An engagement roll will set the position of immediately whether things are desperate, risky, or controlled. So actually, I need some d6s, because this is one of the few times that I get to roll. You start with 1 die just for being alive, plus 1 dice for every major advantage. If it's particularly bold or daring, I don't know if I'm going to give you particularly bold or daring, because this was unfortunately foisted upon you and you're just trying to get out. Does this expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? I'm going to say no. Wow, there's not a lot of advantages for you guys in this one. Yeah, apologize. This is not great for you. Looking at some disadvantages. You may not have too many disadvantages either. But there is one that I will account for that you guys don't know about.
Our livers are failing.
And unfortunately, being tier 0, pretty much everything is a higher tier than you, which takes away. So this is going to be, I don't know if you are allowed to do a 0 dice engagement, but
We're just going through the mechanics at this point.
yeah,
so-
we're gonna do a 0 dice. So 2 in the lowest.
2 and the lowest.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, neither one of them would have been advantageous for you anyway. It was a
Okay.
2 and a 3. So it is a desperate position
Okay.
to start, which means that as you stick your hand out there, you just happen to do it as soon as this young blue coat's walking by, like I said, and you scare him, and he smacks down on your hand, where he immediately tries to. So he scared him, and he's going to whack your wrist unless you do something immediately to pull your hand back, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to lurch back
Okay.
to the bars.
What action are you going to use for that?
Suppose this would be more of a skirmish kind of action, wouldn't it?
Or finesse. I mean,
finesse?
it's whichever
Okay,
one you
yeah,
like. I mean,
finesse,
it's
okay,
fight.
yeah, that makes
It's a
sense.
hand-to-hand fight,
Fight,
or
yeah.
it's.
Okay. All right.
Literally a hand-to-hand fight.
No, yeah. So the threat is, this would just be a level 1 harm of maybe bruised hand, because we'll say he's not going to break it with.
All right.
What is it?
Oh, I see one, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, smacks down right on your knuckles, and that's going to leave a mark. So write down or put into the sheet, whichever way you want to keep track of it right now. There should be a place for level 1 harms. You can have an infinite number of level 1 harms, and unless there's a reason for them not to, they generally go away after a reasonable amount of time, either the end of the score, or if it's something like maybe you get blinded by smoke, maybe after a certain amount of time's passed, you're fine. So those ones you don't have to heal in downtime, unless it's a unique situation. Okay.
Is he close enough for me to grab at him and try and grab him through the bars?
Give it a try.
Am I close enough to actually be able to reach out, kind of disarm him by grabbing his billy club?
What are you gonna action? You're gonna use?
I was just gonna reach through the bars and grab for his billy club and use skirmish.
The threat here.
Push myself.
You're gonna push. Okay, so you can do that afterwards. You can always ask for devil's bargains, or you can ask for additional threats. And if you ask for an additional threat, we come up with a reasonable one, and that gives you an extra die. But you got to use all your dice against those threats. Same with devil's bargains. It's no longer automatically happens. It gives you an extra die, and then, like, say you got a 6 and a 5, you can put the 6 towards the initial threat, you succeed, there's no threat, and then the 5 towards the devil's bargain, and it's just a reduced. So you get an extra die, you get a chance not to. So if you want to add another threat, you can get an extra die. You can wait till after to push yourself, after I tell you what the consequence is going to be. Yeah, so
I've got a sense of Reno. I know Reno.
I'll give you the threat before you roll.
Okay.
Let's say the threat is that the other blue coats take notice and immediately start to respond.
this is the opposite of what I asked for. Feel free.
I have a backup plan, which is stabbing someone in here, and then they have to respond. There's that other dude who's just like in the corner.
How about, for the time being, I give you a new role in this great play of our lives, and you form a human shield blocking me off from whatever the hell these two guys are doing.
I'm homeless and skinny. I can't protect you from that.
That's right. Just stand here. Block the view.
I bet I can get his club.
Okay, so 6,
Yes.
no consequence. So, yeah, you grab his club, and this young man is shell-shocked. He did not. This is not where he should be. So he is not even quite yelled out. I mean, you know it's coming, but he hasn't even had time to yell to the other guards yet, so they haven't taken notice.
So, young man, avert your eyes. And with that, I will withdraw one of my 2 items, which is in this case going to be fine tinkering tools, and definitely attempt to pick this lock.
I'm not averting my eyes. Where do you have these tinkering tools?
But you should never tell me secrets.
I go to the jail. I got a show.
Nobody shake my hand for a little while. We'll be all right.
No licking your fingers either. I just love the fact that apparently you keep them up there all the time.
Yeah.
Commitment. I start twirling around the baton. Do you want to hide this? I might get in trouble for having this.
All right, so what were you using?
So I do have created upon my person fine tinkering tools, and I am currently have 2 action dots in Tinker. And
Okay.
as a leech, I'm very much into mechanical, technical. I pick locks
Okay.
as a pastime.
Okay, so the fine tinkering tools.
I'm just thinking a couple little shivs,
Yep.
maybe like a slivers of metal, things that I can use to exert a little bit of force on this lock. I have a general understanding of how it works.
Okay, so yeah, glancing at it, it's not the best lock in the world. It's a difficult lock, and the fine tinkering tools increase effect, right?
Yes.
By 1 level.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this would be a level 2, a tier 2, because I think the blue coats themselves are tier 3. I have to double check, but I think
It's
that
just some crappy outpost.
I think it's probably tier 2. You're tier 0. That brings you up to a tier 1. So that would be like having a limited effect. So maybe that means like it would take longer unless you found a way to get more effect through devil's bargaining, pushing yourself.
All right, well, the situation is they're in a skirmish with the guard. My hat is very important to me, and I want to get the hell out of here, so I think we will introduce the first devil's bargain for me to actually be a little bit more deft at picking this lock.
Okay, we actually had some devil's bargains submitted. Let's look and see if we have any tinker ones. Okay, so we have one from Bramblefoot on our Discord. It's called Misplaced a Tool, so this is kind of perfect.
Where else is that tool gonna go?
It's -1 effect, however you're using it to get. So what I would say is that if you had to use it again, like maybe it bends or you misplaced one of the pieces of it, if you have to use these tinkering tools again during this score, then it's going to have less effect even then. Well,
there's
as
a
we did
possibility
say,
it will
with
be
unless you roll really well,
Yeah.
devil's bargains in this ones you can.
All right.
Yeah.
Negate the
mitigate
disastrous
that.
effect of it.
So this
then,
will.
What is my roll here? I have 2 in Tinker. It's a level 2.
3 dice. You get 2 in Tinker, and then you got the devil's bargain.
All right.
So 3 dice. Yeah.
And presto, a 2, a 5, and a 2.
Well, 2, a 5, and a 2. Okay. So that is success. I didn't tell you what
and failure.
I didn't tell you what the threat was.
Oh, well, yeah.
The threat will go back and backtrack and say that it takes longer than you would have liked and gives the blue coats more time to react. And so now 2 of them are closing in on the cell.
With the door slowly swinging open, though.
Yes, it is open. And with that, the hooded unknown person stands up and once again says, "Let's go." And you start to get that pain in your brain, only this time it's accompanied by what you hear inside your head. Get my acolyte out of here.
That
Well, I'm
doesn't
following
sound-
this weirdo. How about you guys?
It doesn't sound like any of my normal voices in my head. So.
True, you don't recognize this one. Tallied, what's
behind in this cell?
Just, watching it all unfold, waiting for a moment to maybe do something if the need arises.
Gordle?
I'm following. I'm not staying in the cell. Jailbreak seems clearly like it's going to lead to prison.
Okay.
I'm too soft for prison.
Yeah.
Show goes on.
Yeah.
Okay, so the guards are approaching. The other two standing up, getting out their clubs as well. So you've got 4 blue coats.
They're approaching the guards, or while we're exiting.
Yeah, and it all happens simultaneously.
So I will take off one of my shoes, and then under the sole, I have my little knife.
Okay.
It's made of like scrap metal, so it's not the best, but it's a knife nonetheless. And I'll take that out, preparing for a fight. We'll see if that happens.
Nice.
Is the path to the storage room where all of our gear is?
It is not clear
Not
because in my mind, you're in the hallway. You're near the closer end towards the desks, but that's where all 4 of the blue coats are coming from. And as this is happening, you do hear this sound from behind you, like down behind one of the turns in the hall. It sounds like this grinding on concrete with this whirring sound, and it does seem to catch the guards' attentions as well, but they're focused on you guys at the moment. Anyone want to take an action before you're set upon by these guards, or?
What do we think of taking hostages?
We have one that we've.
I was thinking of the homeless man in the cell, but a guard would be much better.
This creeps me out a little.
No, the other homeless man.
We're talking about the guard then.
We have the creepy guy who is giving me a headache, and
There's a drunk guy that appears to be completely passed out, unaware of anything going on.
All right, well,
Yeah.
I will leave the.
Is that
I think we just take their new recruit as a hostage, so I will drag him to the best of my ability. I'm a skinny homeless person, but I tried to drag him into the cell with us.
Okay. What action are you going to? Well, he's not unconscious, right?
No, I just
I'll just grab the. Yeah.
hold on to him.
I will help Paladin.
Happily, bash him over the head.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
The skirmish roll against the guard, the young guard.
I guess so.
I mean, I don't have.
How much money will you pay me if I knock him out in one hit?
Seems like an advantageous position we're in.
That would be an advantageous position, which is necessary because you're all tier 0, and even as young as this guy is, he's still going to be at least a tier 1 to be, he's went through Blue Coat Academy.
Yeah.
So I think a group action would definitely put you in a good position against him. So you are trying to grab him, pull him in the cell with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Take him hostage.
You're skirmishing for this?
Yeah.
Reno? The threat is that he's able to avoid it long enough for his compatriots to get there.
Gotcha.
What do we roll?
Yeah.
5 and a 6.
6. Okay.
Oh.
Nice. All right. Well, this is becoming too easy. This is becoming too easy. That grinding sound is getting louder.
Are we taking him a hostage, or am I just beating him up?
I'm helping Paladin hold him while. Are you holding your knife to his throat?
Oh, I was gonna start poking him with my knife. Not like stabbing him, but just like tiny little pokes.
Speed holes.
You dead yet?
Giving him some taps.
Yeah, just so they know what I could be doing.
Yeah.
Does he have a hat?
Not anymore.
Of course he has a hat.
I will take that and put that on to confuse the guards.
That's
You've got an interesting way of thinking.
Like your style, young man.
okay. So what is the goal here?
I didn't think that far.
We have 3 guards rushing us. We have 1 unconscious guard that we've now dragged into our cell with us, right?
Yep.
We have a guy who's giving us headaches who wants to get the hell out of here just as much as we do, and then we have a drunk guy, and we're holding a guard at knife point.
That sums it up.
All right. Well, I for one want to get my stuff. So perhaps we just, under threat of killing their compatriot, say, slow down, back up, or else he's going to get it, and make us some room down this hallway so we can get to that storage room.
And I'm gonna search him now.
So he's got those keys to the cell still.
Does
Maybe
he have
a
a key
few
to the
little.
storage room?
You haven't tried it on the.
Oh, all right. Well,
Yeah, you haven't tried that yet.
now we have those keys.
He's got some loose tobacco in his pockets.
I'm gonna take that.
Nothing to roll it with.
Shove it right in your mouth.
Yeah, just chewing it.
Make it chewing tobacco.
I don't have teeth, so what am I gonna worry about?
Okay, so that sounds like we need an action to try and get these guards to comply.
All right. Is anybody? I feel like this would be a commander sway.
Yeah, I'm gonna go more in the sway direction. I'm happy to take that one. Less trying to intimidate, more trying to convince them that we're gonna put a knife in
Hey,
this guy.
at the end of the day, if this guard ends up dead and a bunch of prisoners end up beaten to death by guards, there's a lot of paperwork. Maybe 3 or 4 guys in here for very minor offenses who just want to get about their lives.
I think
Let
we have
this roll.
stepped up the amount of offense with the hostage taking.
But you know, there's
and
also like,
knocking out a guard.
like
I feel like we're saying all this really loudly as a group action right now in
Yeah.
order to let the guards know. They need to just let us do what we want.
well, this will have on their careers.
The only way
Well,
to fix this is to capture us.
We can all just move on from this and pretend nothing has happened.
They
right.
probably don't even have us in the system. So if we just disappear,
Now that
it's
he's
like we would
not,
never hear.
now that he's not wearing his helmet anymore, I'm grabbing his presumably limp head at this point, right?
Sure.
By the top of the hair, and I'm yanking his head up. I'm putting on my best Eastwood voice.
Okay.
He says,
Listen, punks. This kid's gonna get it. If you don't back off, let us get our stuff and get the hell out of here.
Okay.
You don't want this kid's blood on your hands. And this guy over here is wearing a weird hat.
Okay. You see the captain that was working there, big rotund man. He's got his club there. We'll wait and see how well your sway worked, and then he will respond appropriately.
Oh, sorry.
The threat's pretty either
It's fairly obvious what the threat is.
they come in to attack you. So what did you roll?
5 and 4.
So reduced consequence. They're not attacking you, but they're also.
Gonna,
Now listen here, you morons.
gonna.
This little kid means nothing to us.
I shank him.
Oh,
So fast! I was gonna go somewhere with that, but too late.
okay. I mean, you're in a control. I don't think there's a. Well, yeah, there's not a threat from doing that. Like, I mean, you have him at your mercy. Are you going for the kill?
No. Just on like the arm. Just like a little shank.
What is your goal from doing this?
Oh, just
Trying to get them to back up?
I guess.
And what action would you use to influence the bluecoats further?
What am I doing?
Like, what are you
Am I
rolling? Remember, you can always roll untrained and push yourself, take a devil's bargain, get an assist from a teammate.
I'll just shank him and I'll let him do the talking.
Okay, so you're gonna
I'll
you're gonna
reach-
continue talking. So
Yeah, I'm
this
gonna-
will be an assist from. So you're assisting him as he continues talking.
Yeah.
Normally, you would
by
have to
shape.
try a different action because we already tried that one.
Yeah.
But with the assist, I'll say you can. This to assist, it's not always stress, but we're gonna go ahead since no one's got any stress yet, and do the old-fashioned rules of. And I mean, it can still work, but enable to assist. We're gonna say that's stressful for you to just cruelly just stab somebody.
Yeah. My family's not gonna like that.
Yeah. And I will let you roll again with his assist of stabbing the guard.
Here I thought the guy hiding the tools up his hindquarters was going to be the wild card in this, but no, apparently we have another maniac in our midst.
Listen, he's wearing a policeman's hat because he thinks it's gonna deceive you.
And this is going to be a desperate roll,
Okay.
meaning that in deep cuts, only a 6. Otherwise, you suffer the full consequence of a full-on attack. You get the extra die. Of course, you can push yourself to resist afterwards.
All right. 6.
Oh, dang. Okay, so he's like, they're starting to consider that, well, He's not a very good worker anyway. Look, just leave him in the cell. Leave him in the cell. I'll let you guys pass.
I'm not leaving him in the cell.
Leave him in the cell.
We're
Are you
taking him
kidding
with
me?
us.
We'll leave him outside.
He said he's
after
not.
we
Maybe
do
he'll
stuff.
join our crew.
I don't think he's joining us after I stab him. Wait, he doesn't know I stabbed him.
Start a clock. One, you won't know exactly what it is. I'll tell you it's a time-based clock, depending on how long this takes. And that's a 6 clock with 2 ticks already. Well, I'll go ahead and tell you it's not fair. Reinforcements arrive. You know, people out on patrol and such. Yeah, that's good for now. Because at about this same time, he's letting you guys pass. You guys are headed towards the storage room, is what I'm understanding.
Yep.
Yep.
You hear a large, that grinding stops. You hear what sounds like concrete being slid and footsteps starting to come down the hall from the back. And at the same time, out front, you hear what sounds like, I don't know what the equivalent, I guess the equivalent is a massive chainsaw out front, and this spooks the guards. They don't know what they're already get their hands full right now. The bluecoats start looking around. The captain is like, Klepper, go check that out the back. And then the other 3 are just like headed towards the front because they're kind of ignoring you at this moment because these sounds are pretty intense.
All right. We're not leaving this guy until we get out of here, though. Let's just drag him down.
Yeah. And the hooded stranger sounds like it's time to go.
After we get our stuff. Dirty hands. Kick the door open.
New nickname. Jail cell flays open, and I'm pointing to you two. So, Reno, Gorgonzola, drag that guy to the storage room. We're getting our stuff and getting the hell out of here. Point to the weird shaded dude. Which way is the go way?
You know, I think you better make this decision.
Useless. Do we have the keys from this dude?
we had
we drag
three,
him to the.
3 went out front, right?
Yeah.
And 1 went out back?
So back it is.
Back it is.
Yes.
Our numbers are better.
But
let's go out back.
I'm quickly jangling keys, trying out keys on the storage doors because I need my hat.
Kick it, man. Kick it.
Yeah, those keys
All right.
from the
Nothing.
not working.
All right. Well,
I do have fine lockpicks.
how do you have fine lockpicks on you? Is it in the other
How
sole of
sturdy
your
is
other
this?
shoe?
How
Yeah,
sturdy
I
is
keep
this
stuff in my
door?
shoes.
I mean, it looks fairly sturdy. It's you
Like
could
enough
trying
to hold up against multiple people kicking on it.
probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just gonna start slamming it with the heel of my boot.
okay.
I'm throwing my foot whenever you leave me a gap because I got one in rec as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is pretty controlled. There's not a huge threat here.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go with a level 1 harm of a bruised foot. You know, which could affect your escape.
I mean,
So,
at this point.
by the way, if your bruised hand comes into play, you get an experience point for that. So make sure you're remembering the harms. This is I think new to deep
So we're
cuts.
all getting a bruised foot here for kicking the door.
No, if you fell.
Oh, if we fail.
Yeah,
Okay,
if
all
you
right,
fell.
gotcha. I
Yeah, because there's not really too much of a threat, but you know it could hurt your ankle.
Allowed they? No.
No, whoever's helping
I'm
kick.
kicking it.
Yeah, you're kicking it. I'm
I'm
kicking it.
For
but,
skirmish, or do I have to roll?
If it's a group action, you gotta do the same.
Seems like more of
I
a
Yeah.
don't have any. I don't have any wreck. So
Yeah, I don't either, but I'm going for it.
It's roll
Okay.
2, take lower, right? If you don't have one.
It is, and I have to check the deep cuts rules. Maybe we'll pause for that. But I know in the old one, if you failed, whoever the leader was would get a stress. And
I mean, seems like a very stressful engagement at
Yeah.
this point. So it would be understandable.
And while they're doing this,
Alright,
I'm apologizing profusely
definitely-
to the person I stabbed.
you're what do
Definitely got a
you?
bruised foot.
I got a 4.
I got a 5.
Okay.
I had a 1 because I had to take the lower of the 2. I rolled a 6 and a 1.
Oh, jeez.
So you got a bruised hand and a bruised foot now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bruce for that ball, right?
No, because it was only a level 1 harm, so also the reduced is no harm. So yeah, you got some
Amateur hour.
Yeah. So remember those if they come into play, you'll get
got
an
'em,
exp-
Nick.
Oh,
Got 'em.
your desperate action, you rolled, you get an experience point for that. So you should have a clock. And instead they do clocks. It's a little different experience in deep cuts is.
Was mine a desperate action ever? When I attacked the guard to get his billy club, and then when I attacked him again, I don't remember if.
I did not call those desperate.
Yeah, I didn't think you did.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But feel free to prompt me on those so you can get experience.
They're
and
aligned with
whatnot.
my character profile, so they would still grant experience points because skirmish is a cutter.
Okay.
Thing, so
Yep.
it was kind of. I was unsure if they would consider desperate actions. All right, yeah.
Okay. So the door swings open. You start hearing this yelling and screaming from the blue coats out front. Holy shit, what is that? And that chainsaw whirring and some immediate screaming. Sounds like
This is out front.
that's
Grabbing.
out front.
This is
Yep.
number 2
I'm
for the
grabbing my stuff.
Okay, yeah, you get in the room. It's just a small closet with probably takes you just a little bit of time. So I'm going to click some clocks.
Can I search the room for anything that might be valuable? Because I didn't really have. I just have my
So
laptop.
yes, you can. So okay,
My God, Reno, let's get the hell out of here, man.
the way it works, and this is important for deep cuts. Money is more important because
Yeah.
the way you level up your crew and a lot of other things. But also the way you get paid from scores is different. Like there's a set amount you get per score. I mean, I'm sure we can play with that with the fiction. But also, when you want to search for stuff and carry it with you, you got to add it to your loadout.
Now we might be able to carry a full loadout, right?
Now you
Since
can
we're
carry a
getting
full
our stuff.
loadout. Once you get up to 7, you're basically encumbered, and you can't like swim, run, climb.
You're
And
waddling down the
I think
streets.
9 is where it's just like you can't move, but you can sell some of that stuff. So if you want to look for some valuable stuff, yeah, they. What do you think you find in this lockup?
Whole big pile of gold.
Well, it's so heavy that it's going to be exactly what you can sell it for. You know, we can look at it, but I mean, there's going to be some contraband in there that might be worth something. I mean,
I just want stuff to gamble with. That's
okay,
all you really care
yeah.
about.
I mean, there's definitely something you can turn into money on here, but you're able to get your who's taking, and now is a good time to choose whether you're taking the light or the full, or whatever the discreet or the conspicuous loadouts.
I have my billy club that I yanked from the guard and my lab coat. That's all I really need. Is there like a?
I generally am going discreet, so.
Okay. Discreet over there
Sticking
for
discreet.
Marzo, Reno, discreet. How do
You
you,
know, ask is if there's like, is it possible it would have any kind of like armor, like a body armor sort of thing, like under that I could put underneath my lab coat?
that's completely reasonable. That counts as 2 loadouts. Can you even have that with discreet?
No. Heavy item.
If you're trying to like, so that could be something for a long-term project in the future, though. If you wanted something that you could have with discreet underneath your stuff, like that would be maybe something to craft. I think, but I would say that's not going to be just ubiquitous around town that you'd find one in this lockup. Yeah.
Yeah, discreet loadout says 4 items, though heavy items.
Would there be a slugger pistol in here?
I don't know how to rear those things. Let's roll a fortune die. This is where people are taken to be locked up, so we'll give it 2 die. There is actually a slugger pistol in here. Yeah.
Sweet.
What about
I was gonna say only on a 6, and you get a 6.
rage essence file or a spirit bane charm?
So are those things come in the Cutter playbook, correct?
Yeah, it does.
So I would say that that you could have had that on you
Okay.
when they drug you in, and they just threw it into the lockup, and you're picking it back up.
All right.
So anything that's on your general loadout, you have access to.
And I will also say that I had a fine shadowed cloak or shadow cloak on me before that was put here. Maybe it's like a family heirloom thing. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah. All right, so you're gathering stuff up. The screaming out front stops.
I know a cue when I hear one, and that would be our cue, gentlemen.
Okay. You
Stage
exit.
right.
All right, so you come out that room, and I'll go ahead and tell you, coming through the door, basically breaking through this door, having to duck under it, is a monstrosity like you've never seen before. This is a hull, an unchained hull. It is about 7 feet tall. It's in the shape of a humanoid, blackened and steel with bronze, and it's covered in like this mismatched plating. It has this lightning bolt insignia on its shoulder, which I would say you guys have seen this around town, or at least have heard about this. You know it belongs to another crew that's up and coming. You see exposed clockwork and sparking conduits with some ghostly blue light pulsing on it. And it's got this blank, featureless mask. And on one of its arms should be is this massive, there's no better way to describe it than this chainsaw that has, you're not even sure what these blades are made of. It almost looks like Leviathan teeth if they were bigger, but they're not quite massive enough to be Leviathan teeth, so some kind of strange demon teeth. And it's whirring and looks over, sees the hooded figure, locks fake eyes with real eyes, and starts walking that way. Down the hallway, there's 2 more people running your way. This old lady with like burn scars all over her, also wearing, this is basically like a uniform of what you know are the Spark Runners. I don't know how much you know about the Spark Runners exactly, but it's another crew. You do know they generally are anti-imperialists, and they're real big into tech and trying to use the Empire's tech against them. You're not sure what they're doing here, but yes, this old lady running down with like alchemicals on her, and then this dashing looking man that's bringing up the rear is rather young, good looking, clean outfit, lightning bolt on the shoulder. So they're coming down the hallway in front of you. You got this monstrosity to the right as you're coming out of that room.
I will say, when I take in the visage of this hull
Yes.
lurking in the hallway, I'm going to go pale,
Yeah.
and I'm going to lose control, and the fine tinkering tools are going to fall out of my boxer shorts again.
Okay.
Just a visual. I just want to make sure.
You put them back?
And that's where you,
That's why I keep them.
2 shows, 1 price.
My vote is to go towards the humanish people.
So I'm not sure exactly how the slug gun works, because it says it discharges a percussion slug that fires a concussive blast. So if I shoot that down a hallway, is there a way I can miss with that? Because it's just a blast instead of an accurate projectile.
you know, it seems like it'd be much harder to miss with that.
Is it like a blunderbuss?
It's like a break action shotgun more so.
A literal boomstick.
But yeah, it's less than lethal, but it has a concussive impact that can break bones at close range. And it was originally a mining tool.
So it's
I'm gonna
to break stuff up.
I'm going to turn to this unknown fella. I'm going to say, hey, creepy, is beautiful over there and these other 2 with you?
No, you have to get me away from them.
Wait, away from the human people or the...
I think they're all working together, so.
I guess I'm gonna swallow my rage vial and go run at the hull.
Okay. And
Oh my God.
that pressure
Going
mount.
sideways
It's
so
a ghost, right?
No, it is not a ghost. It is a mechanical hull, which you know is
So are we hemmed in on all sides here at this point? Are we?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like all our exits are blocked right now.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has anybody been to this prison enough to know if we're standing next to a breakable wall that leads to the outside world?
I mean, I've been there enough, but I gotta roll survey if I guess.
Well, I mean, we did a gather info.
Yeah.
How would you break a wall?
He's that's great.
I'm going to
It's
sigh,
the sluggers used to break rocks.
and I'm sighing because it's my last one. But I am an alchemist. on one of my bandoliers that was in my bag. I got my hat on, that's it. I can just reach in and I can pull out, I got a grenade. I got one grenade.
I mean, I have a slug gun. You don't need to use a grenade.
all right.
But if you want to, that'd be really cool to use a grenade in an enclosed place that would probably kill us all.
It's an option. It's an option.
It's an option. You could chuck it at those 2 people.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, we have seconds to make a plan. So I am, if you're gonna opt for that, if I see you level it at the wall, I am gonna chuck things in both directions at our other 2 sides.
Okay. Balls can't be that thick, right? So I will just aim it at the thinnest looking wall around me.
Okay.
What wall should I aim at?
Thinnest wall around you.
Yeah. Which one is that?
I'm gonna say there's a passage behind the storage room. The wall behind the storage room is weak.
Perfect.
Hopefully that's right.
Oh, hopefully. Okay.
Percussion slug gun. What are you going? What action are you going to use for that?
I guess it'd be finesse to not miss a wall.
Finesse to not miss a wall. Okay.
Wrong side of a barn.
The harm. The threat is level 2 harm concussed for everybody because enclosed. You guys are just opening that door. It's funneled. That is the threat.
Would this be desperate?
Yes, and desperate meaning. So you're going to try and what was Marzo doing in the meantime?
So I'm rummaging through my bag. I pulled the grenade out. Everybody shook their head no. So I'm throwing that back in. Now I'm pulling out. Well, no, I'm going to still have my grenade. Let's go grenade. I still have the grenade, and then I have a vial of fire oil.
Okay.
So grenade is going to get chucked towards the hull. Fire oil towards the group of people to our other side.
Okay.
But I'm kind of holding them in ready to go, waiting to see what happens here.
Okay. So yeah, it can be desperate with the added threat that if you don't succeed, they're going to be really close to you by that time.
I get an extra die if it's desperate, so.
Oh, is that one of your?
Yeah, I took Daredevil. So.
Oh, nice. You took Daredevil. I thought you took the Ghost.
No, I
Oh.
thought that'd be funny, but.
Oh. Yeah,
2 and a 2.
2 and a 2. Okay, so. Wow. All right, you shoot the wall. It does. Does anybody put? So everyone's going to take a level 2 concussed harm unless you want to push yourself, which is the way to resist in deep cuts.
So the thing about Daredevil is I get -1d when I push myself to avoid or reduce the consequences.
Oh.
But, I mean, how much worse will it get if I fail? Wait, no, pushing yourself just gives me a stress, right?
It gives you. Let me double check with the. Oh, so it's different now. It depends on the result. It's going to be between 0 and 3 stress. You'll take it when you push yourself, and this is what we should have done earlier when maybe pushing yourself to help a teammate. But the rule is you can take anywhere between 0 and 3 stress depending on the roll. So 1 to 3 is 3 stress, 4 and 5 is 2 stress, 6 is 1 stress, a critical is 0 stress.
Versus the previous.
Versus the previous, which was 2.
Yeah. Just
Yep.
you take the.
Oh yeah, 6, and then minus the when you're resisting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've combined some resistancing.
I like that.
Yeah, it's
a
good.
rule.
So
We'll get used to it. Yeah. So you can resist this by pushing yourself.
Yeah. What do I roll for that? Just what I was rolling before?
So that you roll an attribute, which is the left column, depending. It's either resolve.
Prowess or
prowess
insight.
or-
Yeah. So on the left side, you'll see that column, and it depends on how many dots you have in each one. And this would be the one for the physical. So that would be the
Prowess?
Yeah, I would say this would be a prowess.
Okay.
So that's actually, it looks like you have 3 dots in prowess.
So because of Daredevil, I get -1.
So you get
still
2.
2.
Yeah, so, and that would, I'm gonna be a little tough here. That's only it'll help with the wall.
Well, we're all going to be concussed.
Yeah.
You can reduce your concussion with it, or you guys can each push yourself to resist the concussion level 2, because that will carry over. How do I, unlike level 1.
So that you're rolling 1 die per left column in prowess.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to.
In order to avoid being concussed?
It'll make it a level 1 concussion.
I'm gonna go ahead.
You level two harms
Don't
like,
go away. So
they never go.
they
away.
do. You have to heal during downtime. There is some automatic healing that happens as long as you get a safe place to rest.
Yeah.
And then there's some options. You can even go to a hospital and take heat, but that gets rid of all your harm.
Yeah.
So, and then pushing does produce stress, right?
It does.
Okay.
Yes, it pushes stress.
But we can reduce stress in downtime.
Yes.
And all right. So
And no one has any
This isn't-
stress. So
This isn't
very
the
little.
kind of thing though that I'm not strong in this particular area.
That's okay.
Uh,
I mean,
I have
we'll learn as we play. I mean,
Yeah.
it's deep cut. First of all,
No. I mean like
Oh.
Gorgle prowess is not his strong suit. He's probably just
gonna take
vomiting on the
concussion.
ground. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so who's all resisting?
I rolled a 1 though, so.
So you still reduce it to a level 1 harm, but you take 3 stress.
Okay.
So I rolled a 4 for taking down the wall, I guess.
So yeah, I'm gonna double yours up. So it will reduce the consequence. I'll say the wall is now heavily weakened. You can see cracks and stuff. There'll still need to be another action to fully break through, and you take 2 stress and a level 1 concussion.
Okay. How do we all feel about me shooting the gun at the wall again?
not confident.
Marza?
And 3, 2, 1. I had 3, so my high roll is a 3.
So 3 stress.
Yep.
Level 1 concussion.
Oh yeah.
And you're going to throw these.
Yeah. So I think concurrent. So now
Yep.
that pops off, resist, and now is to my right, facing. I'm just trying to envision the scenario.
Yep.
This is like a wall in front of us that we just shot the slug gun at. It weakened it. We have to my left the hull, and to the right the what are they?
A grand and a young lady.
Yeah,
man.
and a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull the pin on the grenade, chuck it over by the hull,
Okay.
and fire is going the other direction. And just to hold them off for a second.
Yep.
And I'm hoping that my team picks up that this is pretty desperate and we need to get that wall down ASAP.
Okay. Think about what you guys are going to do to try and get out of here while he's resolving this. So let's resolve them one at a time, I guess, right? So let's go with which one you want to do first.
I mean, we just battered off a concussion, so let's go grenade first. So
Okay.
you see about we're going to be Troy Aikman style stacking concussions in a minute.
Yeah. And what action are you going to use for this?
This is going to be finesse.
Finesse. Do you think?
This is more an aim than a wreck, I think. This is trying to reduce the amount of harm to me while maximizing.
Okay,
my
that makes
opponent.
sense. Absolutely. Do you think being concussed is going to affect?
I mean, it's just a level 1 concussed. I've been hit by masts on sailboats and been beaten up in barroom brawls. Yeah, it's probably going to affect me.
Okay. So we can either have -1 die, or some reduce effect, or an increased threat.
I have 1 in finesse.
Yeah.
-1 die would put me at take the low, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Let's just say
it's an erect activity.
well, I feel like wreck would be at the wall, but I don't know that anybody else is going to
Okay,
keep these
gotcha.
people away from us for much longer.
It's more about where you're placing your
yeah.
okay.
This is a chip shot from 40 yards out. You know
Okay,
what I
I
mean?
gotcha.
Okay.
I gotcha.
All right, so you can roll your 1 die. The threat is basically going to be the severity of harm, how close your aim was. So a perfect throw will be a level 3 harm, and then it'll go down depending on your roll. Like, so yeah, better roll, more harm to
the
hull. Yeah.
All right, 5.
5. Okay, so success, level 2 harm. It definitely, we'll say, it kind of shatters part of his leg.
All right.
So he's going to be slowed. He's hobbled. Yeah.
All right.
And then,
Are these things like? Are they like? What are those called? The is it a golem? Like, is it like a living? It's like
it has a
living,
spirit in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's like an armor with the spear contained within
Yes.
it. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So now, the big chunk of that is missing from its leg, and it's
Yes.
like leaking aura or something.
Or probably maybe like electroplasm
Yeah.
might be what operates this.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Wispy green energy seeping out of it, kind of. All right. So I would consider that a success. The fire one I don't think is as threatening.
Could block a hallway.
So
Yeah, but I think
True.
like the grenade was a bit more catastrophic, at least potential to us. I think.
yeah, if it had to.
as long as you don't drop it at your feet.
In fact, there's a lot going on in this building. I'm gonna start another clock.
Son of
Uh,
oh yeah, where's our backup clock at this point?
yeah, let me. So we got a couple clocks. You're starting to hear some whistles coming down the street, by the way. So you assume some more bluecoats are being attracted. So that is going to be 5 of 6 ticks on that one. Let's just make this a 4-tick clock. Let's go with building collapses.
One of my plans was to shoot a ceiling to try to block a hallway. So, but at this point, I don't want to.
We'll have 2 ticks on.
collapsed
2 ticks out of
underneath.
4 on that.
So we just need to get through this wall.
Yeah. Which either. one
Okay,
of those
so
two
you're throwing
run
some
face
volatile
first to
fire.
Yeah, so this is fire oil erupts in searing flame upon contact with the air. It's in a glass vial.
Okay,
So it was one of my other alchemicals.
another finesse.
And I am, yeah, this one is, but it's not as, this one is, this is just like more of a long putt than it is a 40-yard chip, because this one I just need I want to basically a wall of flame in front of,
Okay,
to keep them from approaching us.
yeah, so the threat is, I mean, just don't roll, just don't fail. I mean, we'll say that it's
Don't ignite myself on
don't
fire.
ignite yourself on fire. Yeah, we'll come up with the exact threat depending on your roll.
Yeah.
I'll let you know afterwards.
Oh, 6.
6, perfect, okay.
I'm on fire.
1 die.
Man.
And we're die.
Hey.
So yeah, it explodes like right exactly where you wanted it to. I'm assuming right as they're running, and yeah, they.
So now, I basically, my goal here was to buy some time.
Yep,
So
and you've
hole
done
is-
that.
Hole is stopped, and there's a wall of flame blocking the other two, and we got a crumbling wall in front of us, so
you-
you need to do something too.
Bought yourself some time.
I'm wiping the vomit from my lips
Yep.
after being concussed, and I'm turning to Marzo and I'm saying, "Nice throw, Hansy.
Thank you, Gorgonzola.
By the way, your tools dropped out of your hidey hole. Don't forget them."
Son of a. All right. Swapping those up with my dirty hand.
Is there a possibility there's like a sledgehammer or anything in this storage room as well?
We'll do a fortune roll.
And would I have had enough time to reload? I'm not saying I'm gonna shoot again because that's our final resort at this point.
I
But
kind of want you to shoot again. So yeah, as all this is going on, if you've been trying to reload,
yeah.
no sledgehammer.
All right. We got 2 options. One of you two run through the wall like Kool-Aid Man, or we're all concussed again.
I could.
Is there anything in the room that looks like it could be used to batter effectively at a wall?
This should get
Maybe
to-
nothing so specific as a sledgehammer.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. So there is like some piping. You're not sure where it came from or what it's exactly for. It seems out of place in here, but
Reno, this seems right up your alley, buddy.
I mean, I can skirmish the wall. That's, I don't have any rack, but I can skirmish. Can I just try and punch through the wall?
okay. The threat is going to be that some of the wall falls on you, and depending on your roll will depend on the severity.
All right.
And
1 and a 2.
1 and a 2. Oh, nobody's taking devil's bargains for any of these either.
I would-
you want to push yourself?
I can push myself. I have 3 stress at this
Push
point.
yourself out from the rubble that just landed in your
Yes.
dome. Yeah.
What are the specifics of pushing yourself now for this?
So this would be another.
Points again.
It's fine. So you have what's your attributes? Those 3
Yeah.
things that are grouped on the left column.
It'll be prowess again, won't it?
It would probably be prowess. Makes sense.
That is not my best attribute, oddly enough. All right.
We can. I mean,
Yeah.
we can always do. Well, you could do devil's bargains, but you're already, this is basically just for taking stress
Yeah.
and maybe getting some harm.
All right. So
So-
I'm just gonna push myself,
Okay.
and so it's like 6 is no stress.
6 is 1.
6 is 1. Okay.
Yep. 4 and 5 is 2.
2, and then 1, 2, and 3 is 3.
3. Yes.
Oh my god.
Okay, but you know what? You are able to.
Stress. No, I rolled another 1.
Well, but you push yourself. So I
yeah.
mean, that's part of it. Is you know what you're saying? No, I did make it through using that. I mean, that's what you're pushing yourself
okay,
basically to get through that, and you reduce the consequence, which was stuff falling on you.
But it was stressful.
And another concussion from a brick hitting you.
So now there you go. You got a wide open hole out there.
Come on, Creep Keeper. Let's go.
As you exit, yeah, he looks at you. I must thank you. I have a safe place we can go. Follow me.
Safer than where?
The master wants to meet you.
I hope this isn't a sex dungeon.
And we'll call that a successful score.
Barely.
Yeah.
It started off strong.
It started off real strong.
This has been Non-Player Chaos.